Think that got us past the ad roll? Do you think? I think that got us past the ad roll. I'm just gonna throw on the, turn off the amplifier. If I can reach it. There we go. Amplifier off. Axe down. And cans on so that I feel like a real live radio personality. We all know how this goes, don't we? I'm just going to do a little bit of organization here and then... Oh, this is my StreamYard window. Okay. I knew that. I totally knew that, okay? Friendlies, friendlies, friendlies. How is everyone? How is everyone? Hold on, let me just organize my stoofs here. Sorry about this, peoples. Pop out the chat. It was another rushed attempt to get here with you tonight. But I am here. I am seeing people hanging with me. So I'm going to do my intro. Scroll the intro. Hey there, friendlies. Welcome to the Bevvies, Blades, and Bushcraft live stream for the 25th of July, where we have Bevvies, we have Blades somewhere, and we talk about Bushcraft. Tonight I have a fairly cool reading for you. It's from a fairly old book, I guess, called My Side of the Mountain. This is by, I think, Jean or Jean. No, Jean. Miss George. Yes, okay, so Jean Craighead George. I live in a province where the female version of this name is Geanne, Jeanne, and Gean is Jean, which is a male name. So that always kind of mixes me up. A lot of you may recognize this book. It's kind of a classic of the genre in some ways. So that's what the reading is about too. Before we get to the show, I just want to do the usual housekeeping. That's where I say, if you're watching us time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next month or next year, thank you. I do love knowing that your eyes are on the content after the fact. I love seeing the comments appear below the video. And it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside to know that you guys are interested after the fact. If at any point tonight you really love what's happening, then I invite you to hit that smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you really hate what's going on, that's okay. The frowny thumb works just as well. And if you'd like to take a more active role in supporting the channel, supporting the community, keeping the lights on around here, then I invite you to investigate the join button down below the video, wherever YouTube has it now. Click on that and you'll see the 2 tiers of membership that are available to you for your hard-earned folding cash, as well as what each tier gets you. One thing that I believe I have not yet marked down is that on occasion I do excuse me, a members only live stream where I edit a whiskey video for my other channel so that I don't ruin the surprise on this channel. So all that being said, so what's been happening lately in Bushcraft and YouTubing and all that stuff? Okay, first off, has anyone seen the footage of that horrific crash of the Canadair water bomber in Greece? What's happening is that Greece is experiencing some wildfires of their own right now. It's causing evacuations. It's causing a lot of damage. And these water bomber crews, well, all the wildfire crews are working their butts off. So what it looked like was this Canadair was doing a bombing run, and it looked like the wingtip just clipped a tree, and I guess the pilot lost control and plane disappeared into a ravine or a canyon or something, and there was a ball of fire. So I would not expect that story to end well. I didn't have time to double check it right before coming on, but I'm assuming the crew is dead. And if so, thoughts and prayers mean nothing, but it's good to think about these people every now and again and just sort of realize that they are doing a very dangerous job, and very often they're exhausted because they work long hours. So then, after that, there's a group of scientists called the Anthropocene Working Group. I had to check that. And they announced in Berlin last week or the week before that a lake in Ontario has been chosen as the Golden Spike. That sort of, the signpost for the beginning of the Anthropocene. The Anthropocene is not yet an officially recognized epoch, but there's a big push towards making it so. So what, right? Well, okay, so here's how it breaks down. Geologic time happens in very long periods, okay? And in fact, it is broken up into something called periods, which are then further broken down into epochs. And an epoch can be a few million years long. I believe the epoch that we are in, if it's not the beginning of the Anthropocene, I believe is the Holocene. And we're in the Quaternary period. It's just, that's just how they mark it down. So the Holocene started almost 12,000 years ago, give or take. If anyone puts an exact date on something like this, they're lying to you. So the proposed new epoch has had proposed starting dates like going back to the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. But what seems to be what they're coming around to right now, because it's got such a good marker, is the 1950s, because that's when all the nuclear testing suddenly appeared. And that makes it a very good candidate. And this lake, the name of which escapes me, but there's a link to the story. I don't remember the name of the lake. Oh, well, that's embarrassing. But it's a lake where there's very little churn between the upper layer of the water and the lower, because it's very deep. And so what that means is if you take cores from the bottom, you get like a really good representation of the millennia. Anyway, so that's exciting. New periods, new T. There we go. New periods, new epochs. It's always nice to be living through history, right? A little bit of tea next. Okay, so there's a memoir out by Pulitzer Prize winning journalist and I guess author now, Anne Hull. And it's called Through the Groves. Now, it's a memoir, okay, so what, right? But one thing that kind of shines through is that, how do I say this? Behind all the writing of the memoir, there's a very clear view of what Florida was like, in the interior of Florida, before Disney. Okay, because she grew up before Disney landed in Florida and sort of, changed the interior. So it's like, as a kid, she's accompanying her father, who's a fruit buyer, and he's looking for the best citrus, and he's always packing heat, and he's got like a snake bite kit on him. And this is a time like, 60s and 70s, pesticides were king, and farmers were paying the price for that, and cancers and stuff. This is a time when NASA was flying overhead, and the farmer is just, that's a fad. The moon's a fad. What's in front of us is orchards. What's in front of us is we need citrus and, and all that business. And so it's a really cool look at what Florida was like before Disney arrived and just blew the stuffing out of everything and reconstituted, a large chunk of Florida in its own image. And the last thing, thanks to channel friend Tenenbaum, is actually sad news. Not sad like plane crew losing their lives news, but it's pretty seminal. In which, I mean, a seminal blade maker, Ontario Knife Company, That's in Franklinville, New York. It's been sold to like a knife distributor in Virginia called Blue Ridge Knives, and they're shuttering the plant. They're putting 50 odd people out of work, and so the community, they tried to put together a counter offer, but they were like 600 grand short. So, they couldn't, the community or local businesses couldn't buy the company to keep it open. So I believe it's already closed at this point. So the community is putting together like job fairs and stuff to see if they can get these people to work. So, I mean, the question in my mind, because I didn't see this in the thing that I read or watched, is what happens to the brand now? Like Ontario Knife Works, the Ontario Knife Company has a pretty established brand. They've been around for, I think, 134 years. They got like the Made in America thing. I think they do have some, or they did have some Chinese made stuff as well. But like, if you come across a current model Ontario, I would say grab it, because we don't know if it's going to all be Chinesium mystery steel. If the brand, there's no way they're just going to shutter the brand and make it go away. I mean, why would you buy the company just to do that, right? But if they're shuttering a working knife making plant, we've seen this game before, right? So anyways, it's sad news if you're a knife guy. And that's it for my news. Look, as always, none of this was sponsored. It's just stuff that I found interesting or that Tenenbaum sent me. I do want to remind you that on the 29th of July, I will be holding my special 10th anniversary live stream. It will be starting at 10 rather than 9 because we're having a birthday party for Camille that day, suddenly. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I think I will open a new bottle of whiskey on that event to celebrate 10 years. I just don't know what yet. So yeah, links for all these stories are in the show notes below. As I said, none of that is sponsored. So who's hanging with me tonight? Let's say hi to everyone we got, and then we will continue with the reading and then the question of the week. Hold on, I'm a little lost. Okay, so Canadian popped in early with, let me just scroll up. I can tell when people are being judgmental just by looking at them. Nice. Peanut Trucker in the house. How's it going, Chris? Everyone's saying hi. We got Destiny. By the way, Peanut Trucker is a channel hero. See that little logo? Warms the cockles of my heart. I would love to know what a cockle is. Every time I say warms the cockles of my heart, it feels vaguely dirty, but I know it's not. Destiny in the house. We got Christy, who is also a channel hero. Thank you for your heroicness, Christy. If it looks like I'm really pounding back the tea, it's because I had a rough day and a rough week, and I just want to... What? Anyway. Who else we got? It's just a lot of Christy, Destiny, and Trucker saying hi and saying, how is everyone? It's been a while. We got Grace. How's it going, Grace? Nice to see that name popping up. Nice crew so far. We got 17 people watching. Hey, 17 people watching. How many thumbs ups do I have? 11 thumbs ups. It's all right. I'll give you guys until the end of the live stream to catch up. David Evans in the house. David, did you close all your rings today? I did not. I closed 2 out of 3. I didn't do the exercise. I was jammed into my chair. I didn't even get a chance to take lunch today. So I do love the fact that I'm not working right now. Country boy. Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. Country boy, can I show off what you sent me here in the live stream? Okay, guys, I shot several videos lately, one of which was an unboxing of the first thing I've received, the first package I've received in my package PO box, and a couple of things in the cards and letters PO box, because everything has to be complicated. So that's like, I've shot that video, but I haven't had time to edit it. Everything's a mess. I'm organizing. But so I don't know, Country Boy. Can I show that? Just taking a look at who's. Wait. Oh, good. Peanut Trucker says the sound is loud and clear. He knew I was going to ask. Destiny's asking David if he's got his steel-toed flip-flops on. What? But David loaned them to Mark Campbell. There's a name I haven't heard in a while, actually. Marcus, in the house. Nice to see you. Russell, the bass opening was pretty rad. It's funny because I didn't like the sound I was getting, and I was trying not to play too hard, and so I was playing kind of sloppy. But the reason I played bass today is because my Boron's around here somewhere. I gigged this weekend, and I've been working on. Well, I mean, look at all that crap there. So I've been trying to organize. So I don't know where the heck I put my Boron, but I know where my bass amp is. Destiny is very happy that Marcus is here. Boom, pa, boom, pa, boom. Am I at the end? No, I'm not. Oh, my land. I'm late. Russell saying hi to everyone. David says that they're in Toronto for a few days. There's Sharon Q. How's it going, Sharon? Sharon, by the way, look at that. Look at that lovely logo. Sharon is a channel hero. Yes, it was a CL215. It looked like the 215 to me, David. I think you're right about that. What a way to go. I hope that Greece, Canada, it's easy to see it as like an anonymous death, but I hope that they get like a real hero's treatment. Absolutely. Stinking hot around here these days, so I'm just pounding the water. Okay, so yeah, we're caught up to my news, I see. Yeah. David is doing the God's good work by just reminding everyone to hit that thumbs up. Thank you, sir. No, David, we're not in the Jurassic. You might be, but I'm definitely Holocene. Holocene's not a period, it's an epoch. Never mind. Quaternary. I'd love to know how they're named. Like, I know how the Anthropocene is being named, but like how the name Quaternary got created. What does that mean? Apparently where Country Boy is, it is quite hot as well. What do we got? I'm just sort of... There we go. There's Hike with Mike. Out camping in the swamp right now. Don't know how long you'll have service. Okay, that's fine. That's all right. It's nice of you to drop by for as long as you can. And I hope you're enjoying the camping. Are you getting all mosquitoed out or what? Mike, how are the bugs? Jess King, how's it going? Man, it feels like it's been like 2 weeks since I've done this. Every time I use that word, I'm waiting for Russell to notice it. I threw that in on purpose. I actually used it twice when I kind of was hoping to use it once, but you know, I don't really script these. It's not as bad. Home 120 with 100% humidity. If that takes your breath away. So what is that, like 45, 47? Is that getting up there to the 50s? Because I think 100 is 40, right? Hike says, I'm loving it. It's been a couple of months since I was swamp camping. Love it. Hike with Mice, there's lots of coyotes howling right now. Nice. It's more of a yap than a, like, you know, wolf howling, eh? Maybe not a yap. Maybe that's not the right word for it, but it's not the same. Darth Vader in the house. How's it going, Lord Vader? You got a countdown to Christmas for us? Did I miss something from Country Boy? Tell me whether or not I could show off my my thing. Not my thing. That's disgusting. I'm not sure how far back I went. Means affection and happiness. Fair enough. I don't even remember what I was asking about. Hey, there's Kelly Flynn. How's it going? And please, everybody, notice that logo that says that Kelly is a channel hero, helping to keep the lights on. Oh, there's what I was looking for. Yes, you could do. Okay, hold on. It was right here. Made me a guitar strap with my initials and a squid on it. I love it. Look at that. Look at the quality of that. Come on, focus. Huh? Look at that. That is a squid because, as many of you know, the name of my band is Squid Jigger. So that's an acoustic guitar strap. That's what these straps are for. So I will be sticking it on one of my acoustics, and I can't wait to get it on to the guitar. Loving it. Nice work. And thank you for being the first person to send me a package. I was really happy to see that. When Country Boy said that he'd sent me something, I was like, I don't know how big or small this is going to be, but I know he does leather. So even if it's something this big, I'm going to be so happy. And I am. Very nice work. Absolutely. Everyone PM Country Boy for work. Russell's always happy when Marcus is nearby. That's cool. That's all right. That's also uncharacteristically positive, Russell. Look who's here. How's it going, Skip? Everyone's saying hi to Skip. I wanted to ask Kelly, how's things where you're living right now? How's the temperature and everything? Are you sweating it out like I am? And some of the people here are? Yeah. Linda's here. Linda sent me something as well, but as I said, I shot a mailbag video, which I will edit next week. It's been a very tough couple of weeks in terms of timing. David, yes, I totally zinged you. Sorry, it's just I'm so happy to be seeing you guys after like a couple of weeks that I'm feeling a little, punch drunk, but not really punch drunk. What does that even mean? What does punch drunk mean? I mean, like, could it giddy and I'm just playful. Destiny thinks she got blocked. From what? You got blocked from what, Destiny? What? Christy got blocked first of all. What are you guys talking about? What did you guys get blocked from? Peanut Trucker says, nobody blocks Destiny Fitzgerald. That's for damn sure. I'm looking to see who's blocked from where. Ooh, Jess King says it's 31 degrees Celsius in Hokkaido. Yeah. So it's about the same as we are. Actually, today was quite a different story. I think it was only like 27 or some damn thing. Yeah, the high was 27. So and the low was 18. So it's a much better day than we've had. Yeah, David is very nice work, Scott. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, people are loving that strap. Oh yeah, I think that's really nice. I'm envious of people who can do this. right? Because it's not this big a tool, right? You don't just like stamp it and roll it out. Like you have to start, toop, took, took. And I don't know if I would have the exactitude, first of all, or the patience to just sit there and do that. But it's so perfectly made, so nicely stamped. I'm just over the moon about it. So over the moon, I'm about to drop it. Hold on. Whenever I'm organizing a room, it goes through distinct phases, right? One is the disorganized, like inertia, and then there's the point where it looks even worse, and then slowly it gets into some sort of organization. I'm in the disaster phase right now. Destiny is asking if Country Boy has a shop. I don't know, actually. We've never talked about that, Country Boy. Do you have an actual shop? Yeah, I think it's very nice, Country Boy. Very nice. Kelly said, "Oh yeah, David. I know, man. Okay, so here's the thing, folks. I didn't say anything until I got back, but not last week, but the week before, my family and I spent a week in Jamaica. There was a destination wedding, so we went because it was one of my wife's sisters. So you go." David Evans came to Montreal for his anniversary with his wife, right? Yes, that's what you said. But the timing was garbage because I got home late the night before he went back home. So like we couldn't meet up, which is very frustrating. Next time you're in Montreal, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And also, if you'd been here the week after, you could have come to one of my gigs. Seen the spectacularness of my band. Kelly, still hot and sticky in WI. That is WI is not Wyoming, right? WY is what is WY is Wyoming? Am I getting that right? Is WI Washington? No, because that's WA. Ah, geez, never mind. But Kelly is in a hot and sticky place. Kelly, Kristen says, it wasn't letting me type any comments. I don't know what's going on. I didn't block anyone. But YouTube is, thank you, Canadian. YouTube is sketchy. Yep. Countryboy says, Destiny, doing leather work is a hobby I do between my main job and my part-time job. I'm not happy unless my hands are busy every second I'm awake. That is a legit philosophy. Yeah. Hey, Bedo's here. How's it going? How's it going, Beto? Nice to see you. Everyone's saying hi to Beto. Coach, you know what you just reminded me of with this comment? There's mistakes. They're just hard to see. I used to, look, I went to art school, okay? In Cégep, I was in design. In university, I was in filmmaking, but there was always like art history and stuff related to that. And before that, I went to an elementary and then a high school that were, it was the same school from kindergarten all the way through to grade 11, except I left in grade 9. But anyway, it was a fine arts core school. Okay. And so I'm very familiar with I like old forms of art. You know, I like primitive forms of art. I like, Viking knotwork. I love Celtic knotwork. Not in a like heavy metal and tattoo sort of fashion, but in a, art history kind of fashion. And one thing that I learned about Celtic knotwork, and also, is it Amish quilts, Mennonite quilts? Those, one of these very, very traditional communities that are famous for their quilting. Something they have in common with the ancient Celtic artists is that there's always a mistake put in there somewhere because only God is perfect. And when I learned about that, it changed my entire approach to, like, when I was making my own artwork, when I was supposed to be developing into a painter, having a small mistake suddenly wasn't the end of the world. It just became part of the painting's story, and so to me, I have no problem if that thing is full of mistakes, because it's just part of the story of the strap. You probably remember every mistake you made, but to me, it's just a beautiful thing, and I don't require perfection. I can think of very few things as perfect. See, I have a thought, but my mouth was going at it bass backwards. I can see very few things as boring as a perfect world, right? If you live in a state of perfection, where's the excitement? Like, where's the tension that creates interest, that creates the thrill? If all you ever do is win, you don't know how to appreciate the win, right? Anyways, I love it, and I'm not going to judge you if I see a mistake in the basket weave at all. Sean in Alaska. Looks like a disaster comes together at the end. Yes. Takes a while, though, in my case. Like, organizing this basement can take a long, long time. I'm going to try not to take too long because I want it done. Yeah, Beto. I heard from Russell recently. He's been back on the Discords, and I think he's here with us tonight. So, Russell, tell Beto that you're doing okay. But I did notice that Russell didn't put out a video last week, or didn't Books Fest. I mean, yeah, I don't think he put a video or Books Fest that week. Wisconsin. Look, you guys have so many states. I can't remember all of them. In fact, I used to know a girl who had, as a younger person, lived in Wisconsin because her dad was a university professor, and he'd been at some university there before coming to work at Concordia here in Montreal. Disney's asking Sean about the cabin. You should be watching his YouTube shorts. Sandsock. Hi, by the way. WI is Wisconsin. WY is Wyoming. Yep. Got it. I knew I wasn't too far off. I've only been doing it for a year, but it's... oh, okay. I see. Country boy, you're a bit OCD. Yeah, then a little mistake could really bug you. I get it. Yeah. Raspberry Rock is saying, let's get this party started. Play some baby metal. I'll tell you something. Baby metal is a killer band, and that is a hill I will die on. Am I caught up? I want to get on to the... Oh, I am caught up. Okay, so. Carol's here. Okay, now we can move on. I am caught up with the chit chat, so I want to do... I've got a hair in my mouth. There we go. So, yeah, it's a very short reading this week. It's actually the start of chapter 1 of My Side of the Mountain by Jane Craighead George. And I'll tell you why. It's just the very beginning. I'll tell you why in a minute. So, just chapter 1, in which I hole up in a snowstorm. I'm on my mountain in a tree home that people have passed without ever knowing that I live here. The house is a hemlock tree 6 feet in diameter and must be as old as the mountain itself. I came upon it last summer and dug and burned it out until I made a snug cave in the tree that I now call home. My bed is on the right as you enter and is made of ash slats and covered with deerskin. On the left is a small fireplace, about knee-high. It's of clay and stones. It has a chimney that leads the smoke out through a knothole. I chipped out 3 other knotholes to let fresh air in. The air coming in is bitter cold. It must be below 0 outside, and yet I can sit here inside my tree and write with bare hands. The fire is small, too. It doesn't take much fire to warm this tree room. It's the 4th of December, I think. It may be the 5th. I'm not sure because I've not recently counted the notches in the aspen pole that is my calendar. I've been just too busy gathering nuts and berries, smoking venison, fish, and small game to keep up with the exact date. The lamp I'm writing by is deer fat poured into a turtle shell with a strip of my old city trousers for a wick. And I'm going to stop there. I never read these sort of bushcrafty classics as a kid. It's only now that I have Cody and I'm trying to keep her reading that I'm giving her like classics like this one and Hatchet. In fact, I bought Hatchet for her as a surprise, and the day it arrived from Amazon, she walked in from school with Hatchet in her bag and said, "We've started reading this today." And I thought that was funny. But I find I'm discovering these books sort of as an adult. And I know that in our milieu, that kind of makes me an oddity. But because I'm not reading them as a kid, like Camille suffered through Hatchet because it was schoolwork, right? Reading that opening chunk of the book, the way it was written was so evocative. I could see everything. And I was thinking, you made a little house in a 6-foot diameter tree using, digging it out, burning it out, and the ingenuity is rife, it's just, I was about to say we all, but many people, it's almost universal that at some point you wanted to run away and live in the mountains. And in fact, Jean starts with her author's preface. This is very, very familiar to me. Listen to this. When I was in elementary school, I packed my suitcase and I told my mother I was going to run away from home. As I envisioned it, I would live by a waterfall in the woods and catch fish on hooks made from the forks of tree limbs. As I had been taught by my father, I would walk among the wildflowers and the trees, listen to the birds, read the weather report in the clouds and the wind, and stride down mountainsides independent and free. Wisely, my mother did not try to dissuade me. She had been through this herself. She checked my bag to see if I had my toothbrush and a postcard to let her know how I was getting along and kissed me goodbye. 40 minutes later, I was home. And then she goes on to say that, her daughter did the same thing at one point. That's so familiar to me because as a kid, and maybe as an adult, I often dreamt of just, you know what, this life, I'm just dropping everything and taking off into the woods. I still think that way sometimes. I think part of the reason I do this channel, and I mean, the past couple of years have not been indicative of this, and so I am going absolutely batshit crazy, but getting into the woods by myself for like a day or two, and because I went to film school shooting video about it, is central to keeping the demons at bay in my head. Absolutely central. I've always been the type to want to look past the last mountain. If you see a mountain range, mountain, lighter color, lighter until, in the distance, the mountains are kind of like this gray blue color, I've often wanted to know what's after that last mountain. What do you see between these mountains? If you stood on the side of that mountain there among all those trees and looked, what would you see? Similarly, like if you look at a blue sky with big sort of poofy, I guess they're cumulus, not cumulonimbus because those are the storm clouds, right? But the big puffy ones, just marching off way past the horizon. I want to see what's past that last cloud. And so stuff like this, you know, I mean, it's not a memoir. It's a book of fiction, but, you know, I'm on my mountain in a tree home that people have passed without ever knowing I'm here. The house is a hemlock tree that this character has scooped out, built a fireplace in without killing themselves with, you know, with fire. And just like, and the fact is, right, you know, this whole thing is sort of, you know, a bit of writing. And then, you know, when I wrote that last winter, I was scared and thought maybe I'd never get out of my tree. I had been scared for 2 days ever since the first blizzard hit the Catskill Mountains, right? So it's like the scene is set. Look at this great, cozy little place. And then, no, I was scared. And I'm writing about it after the fact. Like maybe, like, I don't quite remember because I sort of jumped back to this for tonight's reading, but I know at least most of you guys, guys and gals, I don't know, people know what I'm talking about when I talk about that yearning, that completely unrealistic yearning to just go across that mountain range. Look, you know, tuck past the last cloud and take a look behind it. Looking at a star field, like if I'm at a dark sky site and it's a clear night and the sky is spangled like nothing else and you can see the roiling mass of the Milky Way instead of just like a dull swipe like you see from downtown Montreal. Same thing. I just get lost. I can look up and then next thing you know, it's 2 hours later. Same as looking into a fire. You know, I don't know if this means that, you know, my head is always in the clouds or if this really is normal, you know, but I like it when I pick up a book and unexpectedly feel the writing in moments like that. I think that's a gift. I really do. I think that's a gift. It makes me love the book. I'm trying to find the side chat here because I feel I'm getting a little lost in the weeds. So I just want to see if people are talking. No idea where I put my side chat. There he goes. There he is. Oh, hold on. I got lost. Okay, there we are. Sean is working on the roof now. Sensok, did you hear about the Wisconsin boy that ran away from home and living in the woods? Cops can't catch him. Really? I'm going to look that up. He was gone at least 4 weeks. Nice. Way to go. I mean, but did he come back in good health? Or did he come back in a body bag? Because that's where the difference is. What was that guy's name? Walked into the woods in Alaska, died in the back of an abandoned bus. They had to move the bus to keep people from doing the pilgrimage to his site because they kept having to pull fools out of the woods. Country boy. That tree home sounds amazing. That's a life I could live. I am not surprised to hear you say that because your screen name tells me that we have a certain yearning in common. Absolutely. Hey, look who's here. Hi, Jennifer. How are you doing tonight? Are you and the trucker in the same state right now? I forgot to ask where he is right now. Kelly just finished the series. Oh, cool. So how's that for synchronicity? David Evans says, I read My Side of the Mountain in grade 2 or 3. I don't remember. I don't remember reading it in school. Not to TMI you guys or anything, but I also have virtually no memories from before I was almost 20. So it is possible that I've read this and have no idea. Like all I have are flashes of images for most of my youth. But yeah, I don't remember reading this. I mean, it's in some ways it's just a very typical, kid or human person. I'm saying kid because whatever, but I think I'm saying kid because this is sort of considered a child's book. It's got some drawings in there. Unhappy in the city, wants to escape to the country. Do a little survivalness. Destiny says that the YouTube's channel American Mythology has a great story about early settlers living in hollow trees. Pretty fascinating stories. Okay, I will keep that in mind. Oh, excuse me. Oh no. Hey, Juggerler says, I'm not going to the woods by myself for days. All right, fair enough. Dance of the Dead Man by Hap Wilson. Okay, I know who Hap Wilson is, that's for sure. He's written some stuff. He's also a friend of Kevin Callan's, who's been on my channel before during the when I was having my panel discussions and interviews and stuff. Sandsock says that's Alberta from here, then the North Pole. All right. Russell says, I love the idea of running off into the woods and living there. Funny how that works, eh? Yes, Jennifer says that cumulus clouds look like fluffy white cotton balls in the sky. Yep, those are the ones I'm talking about. Russell says, that's a lovely story, although I only saw the movie, didn't read the book, but you got to admit it's romantic fantasy. Absolutely. Absolutely. And in fact, so many, I've mentioned this before, but like, Henry David Thoreau, right? How many of us read, Walden Pond and everything, but he didn't spend his entire life there. That was a brief period of time, right? And like he went back to his urban life and everything. Like a lot of, Gray Owl. I don't know how many of you are, read Gray Owl, but I mean, he's pretty hardcore Canadiana, right? Gray Owl was a native explorer, and he went to England and saw the king, and and all this blah blah blah. But his name was Archie Archie something Irish, and he was an Englishman. His entire makeup was a fabrication. It was a character he was playing, and yet he was one of the early conservationists in Canada. He's very famous for his efforts on educating people about keeping nature natural, about so many things that we would see these days as very far seeing, and so he kind of gets a pass. Oh, and like he had this cabin next to the lake, and he was kind of living with the beavers. Like they would come in and he'd feed them from the table, and you can still see his cabin, same as you can with Dick Prenneke, right? And like the table leg is kind of beaver chewed and stuff. But, a lot of what we read in terms of stuff like this and, all that, there's a fantasy element to all of it. And when you're dreaming about dropping life and running to the woods, it's a fantasy for most people. Living in the hollow of a tree for some people is a romantic fantasy. For early explorers in America, maybe it was a necessity, right? But yeah, Russell, I think you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Sensock says that remembers reading It and Where the Red Fern Grows in 5th grade. 5th grade, I could see this book being more of a 5th grade thing, but I don't know. Oh, excuse me, guys. You cut down the tree so it's no longer in the woods. Jennifer, bite your tongue. Huh. Sensock says that this kid He's still alive and hiding, last I heard. They catch glimpses of him on thermal, and then he disappears. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, McCandless. That's what I was thinking. Into the Wild was the film and the book, yeah. I don't want to talk evil about the dead, but I have thoughts about that guy. And about those idiots who do the McCandless pilgrimage, get lost in the woods and have to be helicoptered out. I don't blame them for moving that bus. Okay, so, oops. Ooh, I almost put you in timeout by accident, trucker. Sorry. I'm in Kingman, Arizona. The wife is home in Florida. Okay, so there's some distance between you guys. Yeah. Tenenbaum. Hi, by the way. Tenenbaum says he's written a lot of the river guides. Yeah, he absolutely has. Yeah, I've seen some of his books around. Oh. And Hap was the technical advisory to Pierce Brosnan for the Grey Owl film, and I'd forgotten about that movie. I had completely forgotten about that. I love it. Didn't even know Tenenbaum was here, and then he just sort of arrives dropping the pearls of knowledge. Just boom, boom, boom. This is how I announce myself, says Tenenbaum. But yeah. Sandsock says, did he pet the beavers? I'm not going to answer that. Kelly played in a bar back in 81 in Kingman, Arizona called the Liberty Bell. Ah, I love this comment. Country Boy says, outdoors writers are like fishermen. There's a lot of story in the story. That is absolutely true and very incisive. Oh, my snap. We're almost at 10? Yikes. Dropping the pearls of knowledge. Yes, exactly. I should pour my whiskey. I don't see Al, so I'm not going to pour blue. What I do have here tonight, because I was prepared for both eventualities, is this is the Wolfburn Aurora. Can I get that to focus? Wolfburn Aurora. It's a sherried whiskey. It's natural color, non-chill filtered, which are signposted quality for me. That's why it's this beautiful straw color instead of like a dark carameled up color. No age statement, so I'm going to call that a 10-year. It's 46% alcohol by volume. Several years ago, okay, so Wolfburn was an old distillery that went out of business and reopened again in, I don't know, 2017, maybe 2012, something like that. Something recent-ish. And my fiddle player, Peter, bought me a bottle of their inaugural offering. And so we opened it one night when he got here for gigs, and it didn't last long. Good quality juice. And yes, okay, I can do that. I don't believe it, man, that I still have to send you an invite. Like, what happened? I am convinced that something happened when I bought the expensive membership. Something changed, like a setting probably got reset that we just have to deal with. Did you get it? So just before we hit the 10 o'clock free-for-all, I do have this week's question to ask you guys. And some of you have already actually answered this, is did you guys read a lot of sort of these children's bushcraft classics as children? Or did you read them, did you discover them as adults, or have you read them? Like, am I alone in just discovering these books now, post 50? Is it because, my education was half English and half French that we didn't get the time to read like Hatchet and My Side of the Mountain? If I didn't read them and just forgot about it, that is, which is always a possibility. It's alcohol time. Alcohol time. Okay, Destiny. Yes, I poured it. Sandsock says, what was the name of that guy who died in Algonquin? Hold on one second. Hey.
Hey. Yeah.
I'm irritated that you can't just barge in like you used to.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's on your end. I think it's on my end because when I go to StreamYard, everything's different. I don't have.
Is it?
Remember Team Awesome Team and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly can't think of what happened. But
Damn.
anyway, I mean, you could uninvite the old me and invite the new me, but it's up to you.
Next week, let's work this out. This week I have no time because there's 2 birthday parties at the end of the week. But yeah, let's work this out because it was better when you could just barge in.
Oh, does that mean I'm also not sending you my screenplay until next week? That's all right.
Sunday maybe? Oh wait, what's the date?
It's Monday. I don't know anything past that.
We're not Monday.
Oh shit, it's Tuesday.
We're Tuesday.
I don't know anything past that.
Okay, so it's the 25th. Send it to me like Sunday night, and I'll take some time to take a look.
All right.
Just taking a look.
And I can't do anything with comments, and this is terrible.
That sucks. That sounded so bitchy. That sucks. And there's nothing I can do now while we're live, eh? Okay, never mind.
Well, not quickly.
Not quickly, exactly. Kelly says, no, Jess, I actually discovered some of these books because of you. Sweet. Let me know if you buy any of them, because then I'll feel powerful.
Well, you should. You can set up a put it in your Amazon store and.
Yeah, I really should. I used to, but at that point I had like 1,000 subs, so I just killed it because it wasn't worth it. But maybe it'd be worth it now. Maybe then I set up like a book club. Huh? Here's the book for next month. You can buy it from my Amazon store.
Yep.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I was just being a brat, but something to think about.
Yep.
Hold on. Tenenbaum is saying, no, Hap wasn't that guy. Tom Thompson, maybe. Are you thinking the group of 7, the painter who died up in Algonquin? Yeah. Country Boy says, I don't remember what I read as a kid, but my mom tells me I read a lot of fantasy and sci-fi whenever life got too stressful. And when life wasn't too stressful, I read other things. Like my favorite authors of all time are like Umberto Eco. I had a massive love affair with the writings of Leonard Cohen for a really long time. I used to like Louis Dudek. He was more poetry than stories, but I also have a deep love for the science fiction stuff and outdoorsy books. I only started really reading as an adult. I was not really in touch with a love of the outdoors before I was a teenager. Anyway, I've told the story of how it sort of started too often at this point, so I'm not going to bore you with it again. But
I was the same way as a young adult. I didn't have any great need to be out in nature, but the older I got, and the more I came to hate this city, I was like, it was like 8 years ago when I was like. Or 9 years or 10 years ago, and I was like, I just felt a desperate need for land. I want to buy a piece of land out somewhere. I'll go there now and then I'll camp there. Whatever. Nobody else is going to come with me. Nobody in my family wants to be out there, but
I'm in that position myself, actually.
Oh, I know.
Sandsock says here in Ontario, in Ohio, about 5th or 6th grade, we do a lot of just trying to catch the kids' interest like that. When the kids go away to camp, maybe 3 days, and try to mimic things you read in my side of the mountain.
You know what? I really I thought it was funny. I had a friend in it wasn't Boy Scouts. It was called Beavers back then.
Oh, I was a Beaver. Yeah, that's the one. That's for the younger kids before Cub Scouts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I had a friend in that, and I never thought anything. I thought, well, that's just whatever. They're playing games.
Yeah.
But now I wish I'd gone through all that.
Me too. Absolutely. And if Camille shows any interest in, because here it's Scouts Canada, right? It's co-ed. But if she shows any interest, then I'm going to help let that grow. Girl
Yeah, was it
Guides, I would be less into showing.
Girl Guides or was it 4-H? Or was that before?
I thought 4-H was an American thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My memory is not much better than yours from way back then.
Yeah. We got She's a Blue in the house. How's it going, She's a Blue? Sandsock says, started reading outdoor books. Then you're like, I need to drink whiskey if I'm camping. Epic truth. Oh, speaking of which, Aurora.
It's 10:02.
Yeah. So it's time.
I'll give some notes.
You want the notes? Okay.
Yeah.
So, first off the bat,
Wrap it.
you want me to just do a rapid fire notes?
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. There's no notes in rap. I'm sorry. That just give us the notes.
Oh, you want me to sherry, vanilla. Vanilla. But yeah, so big sherry, dark fruits, very caramelly. That's the American oak. European spice, because sherry butts are European oak. Hint of pepper, maybe some baking spices, something bready. That's probably the malt sugars, green apple, delectability, butterscotch. We'll go to the taste. Unlike the smell, the spice hits harder than the butterscotch and all that until a second later. After the spice arrival, that's when it softens up, gets fruity. There you go. And I'm just going to enjoy it for the rest of the night.
Good job. Compelling and rich.
Right? Absolutely. Hold on. We're sort of... Oh yeah, David was in the Scouts. Yeah, I was a Beaver Scout, and then I was gonna go to Cubs, but the kid I knew who was in Cubs kind of didn't really like me that much, and I didn't like him, so I never went with him. And there weren't that many Cub troops or whatever in Winnipeg, so it was kind of his troop was local to me, or I had to go really far. Sorry, I said Winnipeg, but I lived in St. Boniface. And then, so I never ended up in the Boy Scouts. Well, at that point, they were still Boy Scouts. I didn't end up sort of going on until I became involved in the cadets. Oh, you want to see something I found while organizing my basement?
Absolutely. Is it? Boy, I was about to say something really awful. Continue.
I don't know if the camera is going to focus on this, but I hope it focuses. So this is my flight. Yeah,
Can you
flight.
click on you so that you're full screen and I'm not.
Okay.
I would have done that. There you go.
So there we go. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's when I was in basic training. That's my flight numéro 9. That's a CF-104. No, not a 104, a 101. That's a Voodoo behind us at Bagotville, which is sort of a big CFB. So that's from basic training. We were in our
Nice.
PE gear, even though we weren't supposed to be wearing PE gear for the photos. And then the next year,
Oh, I keep that one safe.
yeah. Then the next year, I went to junior leadership school at Lac Sebastien.
Where are you in the pic? Glasses?
Glasses, asses. Right there.
Nice.
Right there. So, yeah, I found those in the bottom of a box that was getting damp because we had a flood here recently. So I salvaged them. Anyway, so that's what I did instead of Scouts. So as part of junior leadership school, we had to do a survival weekend and stuff, but there was an actual survival camp on that base that summer, and well, every summer. And those guys and girls, those peeps, those cadets were hardcore because they did 2 weeks of survival. At the ripe old age of 16, 15 to 18. Such a good dram. Oh, I have to change the layout. Boom.
I was wondering how long it would take you.
Yeah, because you can't do it now, right?
No.
Damn it.
Isn't that annoying?
Yeah.
I mean, I used to think it was annoying that I could take control of all these things and do all this shit in the background, but now that I can't do it, it's like
Yeah.
some of it was actually helpful, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Damn it. SAINT-LUC got more out of Scouts than 4-H or FFA or most things at school. Yeah, I don't even know what 4-H it was. Home? No, I don't know. Oh, all right. Chris is out. Good night. Sleep well, mister.
I'm going to use ChatGPT to tell me what 4-H was.
Okay. Destiny says, years ago at Faculté Saint-Jean, went on a camping sauvage trip as part of the French immersion summer camp. You learn fast when they only feed you if you can speak the French. I was like living at my house. I was kidding. Hold on a second. Everyone's saying goodnight to SAINT-LUC. Our cadet class is required in Canada. No. The Air Cadets are kind of essentially the youth wing of our Air Force. There's also Army Cadets, and there are Sea Cadets. That's the youth wing of the Navy. But no, you don't have to do it. It's the same as, some kids do Scouts, some kids do Cadets. The reason I joined Cadets, I've told this story too much as well, so I'm going to brief, like Cole's notes version. I joined the Air Cadets because I was painfully shy. If I was at a party, I would be in the corner. If someone walked up to me and asked me a direct question, I couldn't answer. And I had a friend who was in cadets and was very self-confident, and I figured I needed that. So that's why I joined. It wasn't because I needed the military life or anything, although my family is quite steeped. Is ChatGPT letting you down?
No, I found it. It's still a thing.
Is it? Okay. But yeah, we don't have a draft or anything in Canada. You don't have to do anything military if you don't want to. David Evans says there's a CF 101 Voodoo in the Canadian Aviation Museum in Ottawa. Yes, I love that museum. And David, you know exactly why I love that museum. Actually, I'm not sure if I've had this conversation with you, but Dennis Rogers over at Canoe Hound Adventures, he knows. They have a Lancaster and a Spitfire in there. They've got they've got so many like cool old sort of bush planes and stuff. So much cool stuff. They have the nose cone from an Avro Arrow. Just a spectacular museum. So much Canadian aviation history and world aviation history too. They have the only existing model, the only existing example of a certain German triplane from the First World War as well. I don't remember what it was called. But yeah, I've always loved the Voodoo. Absolutely.
Can I tell you my Spitfire story?
Yeah.
Have you seen the painting? I think it's a painting of the Spitfire coming out of the clouds. Like it's coming straight at you kind of thing. Coming out of the cloud. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't. I don't know. Anyway, I so wanted a copy of that. And then one day I walked into Ray's home office. He's got this the exact painting. It's like 6 feet long on his wall.
Oh, wow.
Like, Ray, what the hell? He's like, oh, yeah, my wife picked it up.
Amazing. I love it.
Of course. Ray.
Yeah. Oh, are you talking about the one by, what's his name? Barry Clark? Oh, wait, hold on.
Let's look it up.
Yeah, I just want to see if I'm thinking about the right one here.
Spitfire Art Poster print by Barry Clark. Yeah, that's the one.
Hold on, I'm going to see if I can share it. I have way too many windows open, so I look like a seriously non-pro here, but whatevs. Sorry, peoples.
Destiny.
the hell is my window?
Oh, you're in the basement.
Am I? Where's my damn window?
You have windows in your basement?
Yes. Oh, I see. You're just being a brat. Okay, there we go. Hold on while I share to make sure that I'm thinking, because this is the start again. This is the painting
Spitfire
I thought
Barbarian.
you were talking.
Spitfire Barbarian Clark. That's it. If you got that, you got it.
Yeah. So it's this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can still buy prints of the 41 by 23. That's tiny. But
23 by 40, 23 by 40. Yeah. That seems a little small to me. But anyways, yeah. Man, there ain't nothing like a Spitfire. Well, except the Lancaster. My two favorite flying machines of all time. Absolutely. And because Dennis Rogers lives near where one of two actual flying Lancasters are in the world, every time it goes over his house, he sends me a video. Still flying.
that's amazing because they're selling that, at least where I'm looking here, 210 pounds for a print of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't spend it.
That guy's got to be loaded because that's such a popular painting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Can you imagine making one thing like that? That's kind of like his Margaritaville kind of thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's his one-hit wonder, right? Yeah. Oh, David lived on CFB Rockcliffe. They went to the museum all the time. Yeah, I played a gig at that museum. After hours, obviously. Yeah, and so one of the
Did you have to break in? Or?
No, and we had the run of the place. I could go and look at all the planes, and how I discovered that they have both a Spitfire and a Lancaster is I came around a corner. I was looking at all these cool things. It was like, that's a Buffalo or whatever it's called. And I came around and there was a Spitfire looking at like poof, the nose of it. I'm like, and then I looked right behind it and hulking over it, like right behind it. The first thing I saw was the Spitfire. I'm like, whoa. And there was a Lancaster, and I just about fell on the floor. I just about fell on the floor. I was like,
Forget building a home in a tree.
No, I'm going to build it in the back of that Lancaster. They'll never find me.
We never saw Jess again.
Yeah. Because he accidentally moved into the tail gunner position, so
I was
he
going
got
to say,
killed in a robbery.
Every now and then the security guard's walking through and he hears that pew, 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 pew. What is that?
Nothing.
Oh, Lancaster's haunted, I guess.
Sandsock says, we don't have cadets like that. There is something called Air Patrol. That might be, yeah. The cadets that we have up here is very much a British Commonwealth thing. Some other countries have it, like I think the Netherlands and Ireland and stuff. But like if you're in a Commonwealth country, you have an Air Cadet organization, an Army Cadet organization, and a Sea Cadet organization. I think the British even have Marines cadets, but I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I know the States doesn't have the exact same. Oh ho! Raise the Spitfire. That's why. So it's now spilling over onto my live streams, eh? The Ray love, the Ray adulation.
That's destiny.
Tenenbaum says they actually have 3 Spitfires. Do they? See, I have to go back. I mean, because we were there to play gigs, I didn't have time like to spend 4 hours exploring the whole. But hey, Matt Jace here, Canadian Brothers plus Digital Family. Good evening to you all. How's it going, Matt? How's the temperature where you are right now? Yes, David, you saw the second flying Lancaster when visiting the UK in the spring. Yes, you did send me some pictures, and I was very, very happy to receive those pictures. I'm not going to finish this just yet. Still got tea. Destiny says, are nearby CFB? For those of you who are in the States, CFB means Canadian Forces Base. They're all CFB, whether it's a naval base, an army base, or an air base. Because technically, even though all 3 branches have their old names back, they're all still the Canadian Armed Forces. It's just what is now called the Royal Canadian Navy, used to be called Maritime Operations Command. What's called the Air Force used to be Air Operations Command. And the Army, Canadian Army, used to be called Land, blah, blah, blah. So every base is called a CFB. Okay. Our nearby CFB dragged a legendary World War II bomber, B-52, maybe through our small airport a few years back. Sounded like thunder. It's huge.
I think she meant flew
Yeah.
legendary.
Oh, it's 19 degrees C down where Matt is. Jumper ready for dispatch soon. I could see that. Absolutely.
19 Celsius. Oh, it's coming. There's only like a little bit longer before we hit fall.
Yeah. Yeah. My fall is already a disaster. I was really hoping to go and see you, but fall doesn't look good anymore this year.
Fall's it's gonna be a busy fall, but I just want to get away from the heat and the bugs. Oh,
Yeah.
just driving the ATV out today, and the deer flies were just a cloud of.
I hate deer flies. They bug
It
me.
was something else. And the poor dogs. I didn't take the dogs with me, but the poor dogs when they're out with me, they're just buzzing around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I get somewhere, I'll stop and I'll like squeeze the deer flies on Willow's ears, and I'll pull my hands away, and my hands are covered in blood.
Yeah. Gross. Yeah, that's gross. Tenenbaum said it's probably a B-29. B-29 would definitely be the era. B-17 maybe. Oh, David says probably a B-17. One of those was actually flown by the Commonwealth as well as the Americans, but I don't remember which one. Matt's asking how things are on this side of the screen. Look, it's hot here these days, but today it hasn't been that bad. We had a high of 28 today, so.
Says the guy who has AC.
Well, yeah, I do have AC. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, here's an interesting question, actually, that Matt's asking you. How do you guys actually deal with the deer flies?
I will show you, Matt.
You know, Matt, that's funny that you asked that, because I have often wondered what the First Nations did here before we had things like permethrin and like bug shirts.
That's a great question, but I think they had a lot of smoldering fires around, and they
had to have had something like that.
I think that's one of the reasons for the feathers in the hair and stuff. But can you guys see this?
Yep. I told you that I bought a bug shirt after going to see you, eh? For like the next time I went.
Did you buy a Kugelens? Because apparently that's the one.
I don't remember what the hell I bought. Whatever I bought is the same one that David bought.
There we go.
Yeah.
You wanted to know. This is. It's not much fun. It's a little stuffy, and sometimes they can still bite you through the material if it's resting on your skin. Or
yeah, I was about to ask that.
Yeah, even through it can bite through the material, through your shirt, and still get your skin sometimes. So wearing this, I still spray my shoulders, and I still spray like the other side of my hand and around my wrists.
Right.
Because they seem to get there. Although this jacket is XXL, and if I'm just walking, I can actually pull my hands inside.
Oh, nice.
So that's very nice.
But like a mosquito can still get you through that mesh, like on your arms, right? Because it's just laying up.
If it's resting on my arms, but if I'm walking, I'm moving. The material is always moving, so they don't get me on my arms. It's like my shoulders that aren't moving that they can come in and get me. But as I said, I spray this stuff. Oh, and I've got some DEET freeze stuff that actually really works.
Deep freeze?
DEET. Well, you know DEET is,
DEET
right?
freeze stuff. Okay, yeah.
DEET free, yeah. I was really surprised, but so it doesn't give you that long-lasting, acrid
smell.
And you got to have a hat because otherwise it just falls down your face.
Yeah, and that's not going to help.
I usually wear a hat with a brim all the way around, but it's falling apart.
Like a Tilly or something?
Yeah, similar to that.
Ben Sock has been doing storm cleanup this week. Cut about 4.5 cords off a maple at 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, Tenenbaum says they cover themselves in pine tar and various kinds of grease. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course, I would hate covering myself with pine tar because that stuff does not come off.
Yeah, that must feel crazy.
Can you imagine, getting pine tar all over you and then looking at your wife and going, well, do you want to have a little
No,
happy
you're
time?
sticky. I would love to do an episode one day about making charcoal, like out of pine.
Sure.
Like getting a big freaking container or whatever. Because you're essentially doing the same thing as char cloth. It's just a whole lot bigger and probably takes a lot longer, right?
Yeah, well, Sean James did it in a video. I think he just used like a paint can. Just kind
Did
of
he?
puts a bunch of stuff in it and hammered the lid on. Might not have been a paint can, but similar to that. And then he just charred it for, I don't know how long.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, that's good to know. That's very, very good to know. Maybe I should do that. Do an episode on charring up some.
That's something you can do in your backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you got a barbecue, you got a barbecue, right?
I have a barbecue.
I mean, is there still a fire ban on there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's permanent.
Yeah, we had a fire ban on here, but it must be just in solidarity because it's not dry. Everything's green. Like that. We've certainly had dry summers, but this isn't one of them. At least not here.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, pine forests and spruce groves and stuff, even if they're green, they're essentially fat wood, right?
Well, yeah. If you have fatwood, then you don't have to char it, though, right?
No, I mean, like, pine forests can go up in flames pretty damn fast. So, like, there's a lot of fire bans in, coniferous forests a lot.
All right, I'm going to share the. I think this is it. I've just kind of quickly looked on Amazon. Of course, this is Amazon Canada, but I think that's the link for the book jacket that I have. Oh, and they have pants on there as well.
Oh, I thought you were going to. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can click on that. Let's see if I can click on that.
Use the mouse.
Use the mouse. Opens the link on a new tab.
The fire ban is a real pain in the ass because I generally burn a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so you have the Coglins.
Whatever, I don't know.
Size, small, medium,
large. Did that work?
Yeah. Yeah. So you have the jacket and mosquito head net? Oh no, that's 2 packets.
The jacket comes with the head net.
Okay.
It's essentially a hoodie. It's a.
I see. Yeah.
And the pants don't come with. Oh, you can. Oh, I see.
You can buy with the pants. Yeah.
I never use the pants, but maybe I should because it'd be nice to wear shorts every once in a while.
Yeah. Matt knows that feeling well about the fire bans. Yeah. David says that their fire ban was lifted for now. It's just a bad year, guys. Oh. Like, it's just, I think we're going to be dealing with these burn bans and wildfires for the duration. Because it got bad here very early in the season. Very early. So that does not bode well for the rest of the season.
I guess we're not talking global warming, are we? Or...
I fear starting that conversation on the channel because many people see it as political. But
it is a bit. It shouldn't be, but it is. Anyway,
it's politicized. What sort of months generally do you find deer flies drive you up the wall? Like right now,
July.
Right?
They typically start in June, or very late May. We're in the height of the bad season right now. They start to peter off around the 2nd or 3rd week of August. It's usually around like September 1st. You can almost mark your calendar that the mosquitoes and deer flies finally end. And then it's like, let's enjoy the hell out of the next 2 months.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But actually, the next 2 months are great months. They're great months to be in the woods.
They're the best months.
They're
by far the best months.
Spectacular months to be out
September, October, and then April.
there. Yeah, maybe I'll come and see you in April. You know, fall is very iffy for me at the best of times, due to stuff that I cannot talk about in public, because it pertains to people's jobs in this house. But like this year, I'm going to do a series of gigs. Well, I'm going to do a standing gig for a week in November out of town. And so, like, adding like a weekend trip or something onto that would put me on the couch for a month, you know? So, like, my fall is just wasted. It's gone.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
April, April's a nice month to be here. It's very different than September and October, because September, well, and not just here, guys. We're talking about pretty much in the woods in Canada.
Woods, yeah. April's
September,
nice,
October,
but it's not.
September and October are beautiful because, I mean, the trees are turning colors and, but the bugs are gone. But April is quite different. The bugs haven't quite come out yet. The snow is mostly melted, but you don't get a lot of. There's no growth. It's still. It looks like a Tim Burton's, forest, right? Right. The trees are bare. None of the undergrowth has come up, but it's a wonderful time for hiking because there's no undergrowth, because there's no bugs.
Yeah.
And you can just go forever out here, and it's just wonderful. And especially if you're doing something like hunting for elk sheds.
Right.
I don't think we did any hiking this past April, which is a real shame.
Yeah, that's too bad.
David Evans is right. Deer flies were early. Black flies were also early in May. Like the whole season got. It's BS, man. And will it end early? No.
Sansock says July 15th to August 1st, and then the dragonflies hatch and they get eaten. That's probably exactly what's going on, actually. Did you guys see?
The dragonflies have been out for a while, actually, and they gorge themselves, but there's, they're doing their work, but there's just too many.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that thing that Lee Valley sells? I think they create it. It's like a fake dragonfly that you just clip onto the brim of your hat, and it's on like a piece of.
I have 2 of those.
Do they work?
Nope, not for deer flies.
Because not for deer flies. Okay. Because what's his name? Oh no, I forgot his name. But he's another YouTuber, an outdoors YouTuber. Does a lot of stoves and stuff. He lives out in PEI, I think. He swears by his. He's like, black flies, forget about it. With this thing bouncing, mosquitoes, never mind. But he didn't mention deer flies or horse flies or anything like that.
He said black flies, avoid them?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't tried them with black flies. I can't imagine black flies giving a crap about anything. They're,
right.
As bad as deer flies and mosquitoes are, I think black flies are the worst. But no, I've tried. I've got 2 of them, and I've tried them in various ways. And the deer flies, they don't care. They just, I've sat over Willow's ears and just tried to, like, constantly, just like this, like I'm doing just like this, and the deer flies are trying to fly around my hands and land on her ears. Like, they don't care about, they don't care about anything.
That's
They're
crazy.
like hardwired.
No sense of self-preservation.
None at all. Yeah.
I like this comment by David. We don't do any walking in July and August. I can handle the mosquitoes, but I hate the deer flies.
Yeah.
I often wonder what the evolutionary or what the ecological benefit of mosquitoes is, because I just want them all to die. And
I've wondered about that too.
Well, I was listening to the CBC because that's what I do when I drive, because there's always cartoons and crap playing here in my house. And somebody was being interviewed about that, and she was talking about mosquitoes and stuff, and how, no, it's not just for spreading West Nile virus and stuff, but there's an actual, niche that they fulfill. And I cannot, for the life of of me remember what she said it was. And I think it's because I just want them to die, and I don't want that knowledge to affect my philosophy.
No, it's true. I've wondered about that too. I mean, there's probably a lot of creatures like frogs and snakes and dragonflies and stuff that feed
That
off of
depend on them.
mosquitoes, deer flies, and black
Yeah.
flies. And okay, so fine, but why can't we invent a way for me to keep like my cabin and 100 meters around my cabin in every direction free of these things? Like,
Yeah.
come on, how hard can this be?
Oh, here's a cool comment from Tenenbaum. The only thing that rivals blackflies are no-see-ums/midges. The bites hurt, and you can't even see them. I hadn't even thought of them in years. But yeah,
don't think we get them around here.
I remember dealing with them in country houses when I was a kid. I hated them. And Tenenbaum says, yeah, little bugs feed bigger bugs, feed the birds. Yeah. David says to Scott, I can send you some deer flies.
I swear I could have clapped the air in front of me today and there'd be like 10 deer flies dead.
So just keep clapping. Just keep clapping.
Clapping for deer flies. That sounds wrong.
It sounds like an emo band name, right?
Clapping for deer flies.
Here's clapping for deer flies with their latest hit. I'm so sad.
And when they come out on stage, they release thousands of deer flies with them.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Shit.
Share the love.
Everybody's like, yeah.
Yeah. Matt J. Clapping for deer flies. That sounds like something you treat with a cream. I was doing my best to not go near that part of the conversation. Oh, David says, poor Willow. I felt so bad for her when going for a walk. So I guess she was getting bugged when...
Oh, yeah. She gets so many deer flies in her ears that I can only do one ear at a time. Like, you think that one hand on each ear, you could get that. Nope. You got to get both hands on one ear. And they go inside her ear as well as out. Most of them are outside, but some are inside. So you got to get right in there. And then you pull your hands away and they're covered in blood. Of course, it's Willow's blood, right? It's funny because when I take City Girl out to the road, usually on Sundays, because she's heading back to the city, and transfer everything into her car, and I clean out Willow's ears, and then I'll stand over her, like I'll get her between my legs, and I'll stand over her so her head is, so I'm covering her head, and that keeps the deer flies away, and she knows it too, so she won't move when I do that.
Poor dog.
But the rest of the time, well, I kind of think that her ears are all now scar tissue. Like,
yeah. She needs a bug hat.
She does, but I can't think of anything. I can't, like, if I put anything on her, she's going to freak out, right?
I guess so. Do they go for, like, her schnoz and all that stuff as well?
No, her ears, tummies, and butt. Huh. Juma gets them on her butt. So every once in a while she'll like stop, sit down, and like drag her butt along a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I don't know. It's sad to see. Like every 30 seconds they'll stop and start licking the bugs off their tummies. Anyway, we should move on to another conversation.
All right. What? You don't want to talk about deer flies anymore?
I know, right?
It's so weird. Discuss the flies of deer. What I'm looking for is my YouTube window so that I can see how many thumbs up I have. Okay, so... All right, we're good. I was about to say, so anyone gonna thumbs up, but we're good for that. Nice! Sandsock, I think that Willow she's a mutt of some sort, but...
No.
No?
Willow is a German Shepherd.
Oh, right. Sorry, I got yeah. Okay, so Willow's a straight up German Shepherd. Wow, I've never seen a German Shepherd who's just straight up black like that.
Yeah, it's rare, but yeah. I was surprised too when we got her. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, country boy, I agree. I don't think that sounds like a nice place to have deer flies at all. Let us talk about Jeff's squirrels. David, I there's a video I have to edit, my mailbag video that I can't wait for you guys to see. This is the least I've seen Jess drink. Yeah, I'm trying to get under control. I don't drink the booze until 10 o'clock, and then I have like a dram. Uh, the quality of my live stream was descending rapidly whenever I drank too much, so I got it toned down. That's when I changed the name from the Beer Blades and Bushcraft live stream to the Bevvies Blades and Bushcraft live stream. And like I'm doing more stuff with the live stream for the between 9 and 10 is when I have certain things that I hit every week. And then after 10 I call it the free for all, because that's when we talk about whatever Russell comes on. That's when I have my scotchy scotch or my whiskey whisk, no matter what. Something I forgot to bring down here is when I was at the airport in Montego Bay, I went to the duty free, and I picked up two interesting things, but I forgot to bring them downstairs. So I'm not going to show them tonight, but I will show them soon. Two boozes, of course. For the rest of the Montego Bay airport, if I'm ever there again, I'm not spending a cent because everything is way too expensive. But the duty free didn't let me down. Duty free didn't let me down because I wasn't looking for deals. I was looking for like travel exclusives and stuff that you can't normally get, because you're not going to get deals at the duty free. I don't know if you ever did, but you sure as hell don't these days. Or like you spend, if a bottle of whiskey is like $100 for the 750 at the duty free, you may get like the 1 liter for $100 or something. But that's about it. And this, what I'm pointing to, but you're not seeing, this Johnny Walker Blue Label is $3.20 US at the duty free in Montego Bay. It's also $3.20 if you buy it on the Air Canada flight home. But in Quebec, it's $3.16. Actually, it's just gone up to about $3.18. So, guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to buy it on a plane or at the duty free. Especially because that's a lot of money to throw on one bottle, like at the end of a very expensive trip, right? Like, I don't know how much you spent in, where were you guys? Antigua?
Fuck.
You're
Antigua.
right? Yeah.
Sorry, I was talking, but I forgot my mic was off.
Damn it. I missed Pearls of Wisdom.
So many pearls of wisdom just leaked out and were dribbled away like the thoughts of a uncultured, witless one.
Footless one. Okay. Fair enough.
Witless.
Yes, that good. Yeah.
Anyway, I was saying, wait. Okay, so the American price was $3.20.
Yeah.
And then the Canadian price is what?
Ontario, BC is like $3.40, $3.60. Quebec, it's about $3.18.
You got gypped, buddy.
Oh, I didn't buy it. No, I didn't buy the Blue Label down there. I saw the price and it's like,
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay, got it.
No, I didn't buy Blue Label. I bought the Johnny Walker Island Green, which I know our buddy Al hates. But I wanted to see, and you can only buy that in airports. So
I've bought some like like Jamaican rum or something like that duty free, and it was really, really cheap.
Yeah, you could get some things for a very good price, like what's it called, Cross and Nephew. Tenenbaum's going to correct me on this, which I was deeply interested in picking up, but we didn't have the room, because there was like $19. Here in Alberta, it's closer to 40. David Evans says, Jess bought too many knives. I have not. I recently bought a knife, but I'm not ready to tell you guys about it, and it's not here yet.
David, we never bought enough knives. Never.
No. You can never buy too many knives. David did not replace his Blue Label. Look, it's a big expenditure. Blue Label is a big, spend.
It is, and I think you've got to be a special kind of connoisseur to enjoy it.
Yeah. Much like the Grumman number 1 that Russell has in his hand right now. I love my number 1. I want a second one.
The number 1 now.
Yeah, second number 1. With that, with the same sheath, the same like traditional like tears lost in the rain.
Improvised line, as far as I understand. Tenenbaum.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
If that's an improvised line, that's a great line.
It is, right?
I might blow like maybe $30 for a fifth one, maybe 2 times a year. I have a Ryan grain engine sitting on my bench, Sandsock. Yeah, for stuff that comes out to multiple hundreds per bottle, if you're not sure you're going to enjoy that bottle, that's a big mistake. So find a whiskey bar and try it. Yeah, it'll cost you $30-$40 for a dram, but that's a whole lot less than $3.20 on a bottle that you're like, ugh, David does say that we need to buy more knives, and I think that he is right. There was a knife story that I wanted to add to this week's news, but I forgot about it in time. I didn't think about it in time. Oh my land! Speaking of which, Sandsock splurged on your first Benchmade 940. I want one of those, like I want Mila Kunis, but it's not going to happen. I shouldn't have said that in public. It's something I used to say, but I don't say that anymore. But yeah, the 940.
I think you need some priorities.
Ray and Nephew, thank you. Yes, yeah. In fact, they had like some special editions named after each of the parishes in Jamaica, and I was like, I got to bring that home. But they were 700 ml bottles instead of the usual 750, and like. The straight up Ray and Nephew's, which is very proofy, was like $19, and these special editions, which were even more proofy actually. I think they might have been cask strength, were $70 for like a 700 ml bottle. Yeah, so Tenenbaum says yes. Howard was riffing. It might be his finest moment as an actor. That's unbelievable. That scene is so good.
It is, right?
Yeah. I realize we're just, like, the three of us are talking about a film that maybe everyone here doesn't know which film we're talking about. Classic film. My wife doesn't like that movie. And I keep having this conversation, like who likes the director's cut over the release, right? Because, I think it was the director's cut removed the whole voiceover.
The director's cut made it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Because I think the original film was to be like the director's cut, and the
studio was like,
overlords came in and said, no, we need to explain this shit. Nobody's gonna get it.
Yeah. and the director's cut is where the whole question of is he a replicant or not at the end sort of comes in, right? Because it's not that clear if you don't have the.
No, I don't think that was the question.
You don't think so?
The question was, will she expire? That was the question.
That also, but I just figured she would.
Well, a lot of people did, but then you get the unicorn.
Yeah, that's true.
Thing, she's unique, right?
Yeah.
So it's for this very reason that the overlords came along and said, "You need to explain this shit."
Yeah.
Now, Tenenbaum's going to clear us up.
David's going to buy a number 1 from Canada Bushcraft.
What does that mean, David?
He probably means Bushcraft Canada. They sell them there. David's been buying other things lately you don't like to talk about. No, I don't like to talk about them online if you're talking about what I think you're talking about. So we're not going to talk about it, but I afterwards or tomorrow or something, I definitely want to know.
So wait, David's going to buy a Grumman Russell number 1 survival knife from Canada Bushcraft? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I want to see some of these other things that David's been buying. David hasn't spent any time on Discord lately. So, David, share some pictures. Friend.
Whiskey's done. Whiskey's so done.
And you've got 14 minutes left.
I know. But I've still got tea. The tea in Jamaica was garbage, by the way. The tea itself was probably not garbage, but they didn't have actual boiling water. They just had these big urns of hot water everywhere, and that doesn't make good black tea. It's fine for green tea. But like for tea Earl Grey hot or English breakfast or orange pico, the water needs to be at boiling. You turn it off, you pour it immediately. That's what you need for black tea. And they just didn't have it.
I'm sorry, I phased out there after tea was mentioned.
Well, for Russell's benefit, you see, for black tea, it really has to be boiling water, 100 degrees Celsius. For green tea, it can be down around like
Why
90.
can I not click on comments and bring them up?
Yeah, that is frustrating. Okay, what are you trying to bring up? Who are you trying to bring up?
I was skipping down to Tenenbaum's comment.
Oh, yeah, okay. I think you covered it, though. Why would Gaff know whether or not she would expire? Well,
that's a good question.
I think that films like this live on when people don't know. Like when people have questions, and it just goes like. That's why, like,
open-ended, yeah.
And so, some people are like, "No, man, it's got to be the director's cut." Okay, forget about it. And some people find the director's cut maybe too cerebral or make them work too much. I find magic in both because I like sort of how the voiceover touches on something filmic that we don't really do anymore. It's almost like an old Western or something, And so I kind of like that, but I do prefer the director's cut where it's a little more auteur because it doesn't just sort of throw the answers in your face the way Hollywood loves to do it. And I mean, I see why he had trouble with the Overlords because of that, though.
I kind of think that if I'd only seen the director's cut, I probably wouldn't have understood what was going on. But seeing the Overlord cut and then the director's cut, I love the director's cut, but only because I know what's going on.
Right.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
That's probably weird.
Yeah, I get you. Sandsock says, "I like my tea in the bay." I know what you're referring to. But I'm in Canada. I was taught that the wrong side won that particular conflict when I was in school. So,
The bad guys won.
Country Boy says to David Evans, don't be conned into buying ridiculously priced glass. It isn't necessary. I don't want to talk about that here, but I do have thoughts about that because I would like to buy some new glass as well.
Oh, scopes. Well, it depends on what he bought. Depending on what he's using for. If it's like an action, David? Are you planning for action? Then we can talk about some stuff. If it's just hunting, then
yeah. What? You think he's going to kick down a door and take out Osama bin Laden? First of all, that's already been done. Is that what you're talking about action? Because
yeah, something like that. It's like or repel invaders kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Tenenbaum is saying exactly what I was trying to say, but too stupid. It's an homage to the private detective film. I think I said Western for some stupid reason, but yes, I meant private eye film. Yeah, it's not entirely out of place. I know. Yes, exactly. And so I saw that, and I got that sort of element. Why did I say Western? That was stupid,
Certainly
right?
What Tenenbaum said was made a lot more sense.
Yeah. I'm not having a great day here, people.
I like this guy called it glass. Mm-hmm. It's kind of an homage to the age of sail when a telescope wasn't a telescope. It was bring my glass.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so tired.
Oh shit, David, we're gonna have to have a long talk.
Oh, I see.
Anyway,
while I was moving stuff with my daughter yesterday, we were moving some armoires around and everything. I accidentally shook the crap out of my unmentionables case. But I have no idea where my keys are, so I couldn't check to see if my unmentionables are okay. I mean, unmentionables in the context of my channel, not like an underwear case.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask, but then they're unmentionable, so you can't ask because they're unmentionable. Yeah. Damn it! You're really painting me in a corner on that one.
Yeah, I'm painting myself into a corner too. So let's just move right on for the last 8 minutes of the live stream. We'll bug David in private later.
All right.
So I had my whiskey, my Scotchy Scotch. Oh, I bought a really cool set of rocks glasses this week. Really cool. And I made myself an old fashioned just so I could actually use them. I'm going to find a beach. There we goes. Let me share the page. Let me find my window again. I have way too many windows open here, people.
I've rolled with 40 or 50 windows.
I do, but I'm not good at it. Like, because I end up where's my blah blah blah.
Well, I'm not either, because I start scrolling back through them and think, damn it, I really got to look at that. I don't want to.
So I got this because it was on sale 2 for 1. I got the small, the 250 mil, because the entire reason I like these is because I wanted a smaller rocks glass. They're heavy as shift. I was about to say another S word.
I've already said shit like 10 times.
You're ruining my channel, man. And I got the basic clear glasses. Like, I don't need smoked glass or aluminium. With stupidness.
Smoked glass seems stupid. Like, why would they do that?
I like to see the color of the liquid in the glass. So, like,
right?
you know.
Yeah. Smoked glass.
Yeah. Anyways, I am very glad that I finally bought them. I've been looking at them for years. And the reason why is because I was like, oh, yeah, Norland, they look great. But, you know, gadgety, blah, blah, blah. And then my wife bought me this for Christmas or my birthday or something. It's a double-walled whiskey glass. So you get kind of the, like the Glencairn shape inside, so you can still nose a bit. But because of the way that glass is designed, you know, if you're sitting across from someone, you can drink and still sort of maintain eye contact while you're talking. Whereas with a Norland, with a Glencairn, you kind of have to, because of the shape, and it interrupts your conversation a little bit.
I wonder what showing people the bottom of my beer can looks like.
Well, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put like a smiley face on the bottom there.
That would be a nice touch. Would be, Russell. Be polite. Little smiley face. People don't feel alienated by looking at the ass of your beer can.
Actually, it's my my thingy.
Your koozie.
My gel koozie.
SAINT-LUC is out. All right, good night. See you next time, SAINT-LUC. Have a good night. David says, unfortunately, can't talk late tonight. No, that's fine. I didn't mean specifically after tonight's live stream. I gotta go to sleep anyway because I'm bushed. Today was endless putting out fires at work. So I'm a wreck. I'm surprised that I'm still awake. Shall we say?
You should get paid more.
But you should always get paid more. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean you specifically.
I should get paid more for YouTubing, which means I should be putting more content out, which means I should be getting control over the stuff that keeps me from doing that. So many vicious cycles. Vicious circles? Cycles? Circles? I think that Russell is getting a drink.
That would be true.
What are you getting?
Beer.
Good old beer. Yeah, but I mean, is it like a Budweiser or is it like a cool beer? Oh, that looks like a
It's not a bad beer. It's Laker Red.
Laker Red. Okay. Never seen that before.
It's kind of like many of the popular domestic brands, except it's got a little flavor to it.
So it's not actually like a lot of the popular domestic brands.
I said a little flavor.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, but like it's not a killer beer. It's not like a Waterloo or anything like that. It's more
No,
on the Molson side.
The
Sleeman.
point is, if the beer isn't all that great, then I don't drink as much of it.
Don't drink it as fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's legit. I can understand that. It's why I try to drink 40% whiskey when I'm live streaming. Tonight I failed at that because this is 46. But I feel that at 40%, I don't feel the need to quit as much. Sip it and like, meh, it's okay. That's okay.
Yep, we're winding down here, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off.
Yeah, I think why not just wind it down? I mean, we're 2 minutes to the end, but we're both starting to yawn, and I believe that we're probably not being quite as brilliant as we have been up until now. I would just like to say that I have 21 people watching now, but over the course of tonight, I got 26 thumbs up, which still makes me small time compared to Russell, but pretty damn cool compared to myself. So, between now and Friday, unless something stupid happens, everybody, I'll see you then for my 10th anniversary live stream. Between now and then, everybody, please be safe, be kind, no. What do I usually say? I haven't done this in a couple of weeks. Be safe, be
You
healthy,
should write it down.
be sane, and be kind to one another. I knew I could get through it.
And be soup.
Good night, everyone.
There's Carol.